Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the A-Side. I am your host, Riley, and today I'm coming with a more formal sit-down review, which I haven't done in a while, of a new release. That is, we're going to be talking about the new Juice WRLD album, "Fighting Off Demons." Now, Juice WRLD has been a pretty big deal to younger generations of people for quite a few years now. I remember first hearing about him. Oh God, 2018-ish now. Is when he really kind of started to blow up with songs like Lucid Dreams and All Girls Are the Same. And at the time, I was just starting to kind of get into hip hop, but I really appreciated Juice's more kind of emo take on the genre. A record like Goodbye and Good Riddance is so riddled with heartbreak, and is just such a good breakup album filled with, poignant lyrics that really hit hard. And a lot of people agree, Juice WRLD became one of the most popular artists around, and then he sadly passed away in 2019, I believe now. And they've been releasing posthumous material, one of those records being last year's Legends Never Die, which, if you saw my year-end list or my original review of that record, I really love. And I think Juice WRLD as an artist, when it comes to my generation, Gen Z, I feel like there's not an artist that is as universally beloved by Gen Z as Juice WRLD. Like at our prom, a Juice WRLD song came on. A couple of them did. Everyone was singing. Everyone was dancing. Everyone having a great time. He's just so beloved by my generation. So, with that being said, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. Fighting Off Demons is mid. You know why they call it the Midwest? Because everything in it is mid. This album really bored me. I could not find myself getting into it at all. I've listened to it a couple times now. And it just feels so cynical to me as a posthumous release. I know it's probably only going to get worse from here. And I think that's where my first issue comes from, is that Legends Never Die, coming right before this, was such a good send-off to Jared and to Juice's legacy. And it was so beautiful in that way. And then this record comes and just kind of tries to do the same thing again in a way, and you can feel it with, like, the voice tracks that are just, like, the interludes of two of them, Juice speaking and one Eminem. Of course, you had those in Legends Never Die. It's going to be hard not to compare this album to Legends Never Die, because I feel like this is just the cynical counterpart to that, where you had one being a beautiful kind of touching tribute to a past artist we all loved. This record feels more like a cash grab in a way. And you can really tell that. I mean, a big part is with the songwriting. These really just feel like leftovers. I feel like if Juice was still alive, he would have never released these songs lyrically the way they are. They feel such a step down from where the lyricism was on Legends Never Die. You can tell in the songwriting that they picked all of the best songs that were left over for Legends Never Die. That they just kind of threw the rest onto this record. I mean, nothing on this record even came close to hitting me as emotionally as something like Wishing Well, or Come and Go, or Life's a Mess, or Tell Me You Love Me, these amazing songs kind of lyrically. And it just feels like they really are just throwing whatever on here to sell it to make money because Juice is so popular. And some of the lyrics on this record are really rough throughout the entire thing. I think a lot of it is not up to snuff with even 2018 Juice WRLD's lyricism. I think the one for me that kind of stands out the most as having the worst lyrics is probably From My Window. I'm not a big fan of this song at all. Lyrics like, ask can she suck my dick, yes please, put it in her throat, shorty choked then sneezed, my wifey fuck me off the whitey, Malcolm Middle, put it in her mouth, a Juice WRLD popsicle, Mario, Luigi, and my bros till the bitter end. All I know is slat shit and gang shit, fuck a friend. If she's sending you ass pics, you should fuck her then. Take her to the palace just to put the buck in Buckingham. Like, compare that with some of the shit we got on Legends Never Die. Waiting for the exhale, toss my pain with the wishes in the wishing well, still no lie, oh well, I'm gonna try even though I know I'm gonna fail. Some of the lyrics on that record were beautiful, and we have this that's just thrown here. Um, and it really just feels like they're trying to sell Juice WRLD's persona. He would have never really, I think, put this out if he was still here. I feel like he was growing as an artist so much, and it was taken from us so soon. And I think Legends Never Die was quite a masterpiece, even though he technically didn't make it, both on the lyrical front and the production front. A lot of the beats and sounds on that record were varied and interesting and so colorful the entire time. Whereas this record doesn't feel like that at all. In fact, I think the beats are rather boring here, actually extremely boring. I'm the kind of person that can't just listen to hi-hats and 808s for 50 minutes straight and think that's good. And that's all it is here. It feels like just really basic hip-hop songs and basic hip-hop beats thrown under these kind of throwaway Juice lyrics to make money. And that's all I feel when I listen to this. I don't connect to these beats at all because they're not interesting. They're just really feel so thrown together for me, and a lot of them are just so basic and bland, and don't do anything interesting. I don't think any of them are like bad. There are no beats that are like, holy shit, this is cringe. But a lot of them are just so boring. The production here is so bland, and I could go listen to any other kind of trap hip hop album from the last couple of years. Why would I want to listen to this when I could listen to Whole Lot of Red or Die Lit or Astro World or even Legends Never Die? Something with such cooler production and more interesting beats. I can't just listen to hi-hats and 808s and bass for 50 minutes straight and think it's good. I'm sorry. And I think that's my biggest problem with this record, is just how boring it is. I don't think any of the beats are interesting. It's all very one note. It's very just drab and basic. Yeah, it just makes it really hard to sit through. Especially as someone who, I don't like hip-hop as much as I used to. I went through a phase, probably through most of 2020, where I was really into hip-hop into early 2021. And it kind of started to fall out of that a little bit. I still love it, but not nearly as much as I used to. And I tend to be more into the more kind of lush, artsy side of music. And this record really is just so basic in its instrumentation, that I feel like it really is just trying to sell to as many people as possible. And it just doesn't work at all, for me. Yeah, and I think the mixing on this record is really bad too. Sometimes the bass is just way too loud. Sometimes you can't really hear Juice. I think that's another big problem with this record, is the mixing is really bad. And it's especially noticeable on songs that try and do something different, like opening track, Burn has a really cool kind of beat and sound to it. It's super dreamy. It's got these like strings and cool like electronics, and then when the 808s do kick in and then the hi-hats do kick in, it's a really cool moment of kind of build up and almost like the beat drops. But it's so like poorly mixed. Juice is so quiet, and it's all like really quiet. It's like they just need to turn it up more. It just doesn't sound good, and his voice for a lot of the record sounds kind of compressed too. It doesn't sound very clear. And I'm kind of worried this is all just going to get so much worse with more posthumous releases. And I really think I should have just stopped at Legends Never Die. The other track is Girl of My Dreams, which at its base, the beat could be really cool. It's got this like post-punk feel to it. It's got these guitars, and this like kind of melancholy bass reminds me a lot of like New Order, The Cure. But it's mixed so poorly that all you can hear is the hi-hats, and 808s and bass. All the cool shit is drowned out completely. You have to really listen for it. I think if they turned that stuff down or got like an actual drummer in there and turned up like the synths and the guitar and the bass, it could be a really neat kind of experimental hip-hop song. But all you can hear is the boom, boom, which I guess a lot of people like, but for me, wanting to hear something artsier, I kind of don't like it. And I feel like this record just falls so short and so disappointing for me. of the standard I've come to expect for Juice WRLD, because he had no part in it. Really, the sequencing, the beat making and stuff. He's been gone long enough now. And that's what this kind of feels like. It's just the last record felt like such a beautiful send off to him, and this feels like a cynical cash grab. I mean, even some of the features here are just so weird. Like, they put BTS on a Juice WRLD song. And granted, Girl of My Dreams probably is my favorite song on the record, but I never thought Suga from BTS would be making a song with Juice WRLD. And they're two worlds I don't necessarily think collide the best. I mean, hell, I think the Coldplay BTS crossover was better a few months ago. And then Justin Bieber is here on Wandered to LA. I think that song in general is just really obnoxious. I just found it really grating and kind of repetitive. I wasn't a fan of it. Uh, Already Dead is another one that I just think sounds kind of really like they were trying to do the Legends Never Die thing again, but it just wasn't necessarily on the same level as that record. And you can tell once again, it's just like a throwaway B-side track that the lyricism here just is about something similar, but then you compare it to what you heard on the last record or even the record before it, and you're like, these are like not even close to being as good. These are like songs that were still probably in early like lyrical development at some point or another, and I can't get behind it. And then there's Feline, Polo G, and Trippy Red. Not the biggest Polo G fan, he's alright, but I do like Trippy Red, I think he's interesting. But both of these verses are completely forgettable. Um, just super boring. And Trippy Red, whether you like him or not, as someone who's not boring, actually one of my favorite tracks from Legends Never Die was Tell Me You Love Me. Um, where I think Trippy did amazing on that song. And of course, Trippy has one of the best songs this year, Miss the Rage. Even though I don't like Trip at Night as much as I did when it came out, I discovered I have a lot of problems with it. I think Miss the Rage is still a great song, and I think Trippy is very interesting and has a lot of talent. And it just falls short here. It feels so phoned in and forgettable, and that's what a lot of this record feels like. Is it's just being phoned in. The beat makers, the producers, the album sequencing, it just all feels so lackluster. Like they just took these random, Juice songs and put a boring ass beat over them and some forgettable features. Like everyone just tried as little as possible just to make some money. And that's kind of sad that they're doing this to Juice, someone who has such a positive kind of legacy to him that everyone loves and would have gone out on such a high note that felt so kind of memorializing to him and his legacy. And then they're doing this, and they're going to keep probably putting out these posthumous albums just like they did with X. And I think I Just Never Die was Juice's Basement on a Hill. I compare those records. I think they're both kind of similar. And here we are now at this record, and I just don't like it. It's boring, man. I find myself not getting into it at all or connecting to it. The moments that are cooler than others, the mixing and the production ruins it for me, whereas the beats and the lyrics are just not there for me either. So, yeah. I'm sorry. The best I can do on this, honestly, is like a 3 minus out of 10, being generous. It's definitely not awful. It's not like the worst thing I've heard all year. It's not like AJR or Maroon 5 or like that fucking new Young Thug project or all the shit I've heard this year that I haven't liked. But this record just isn't enjoyable for me at all. So, yeah, I'll be sticking with Juice's older stuff for now and be avoiding this record. What did you think of Fighting Demons? Let me know. If you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe if you want. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video. But yeah, sub to me if you're new around here. And I hope you enjoyed. But let me know what you think of this or Juice in general in the comments. Leave a like. It kind of helps push things into the algorithm. And stick around because it's year-end list season, baby. I started writing the script for the top 20 albums of 2021. That'll be coming out probably around New Year's Eve, New Year's-ish ballpark. I also have a couple reaction videos I want to finish up. For those of you that are Churches fans, Love is Dead. That video probably won't come out until 2022 because I want to finish up Black Midi and listen to some other stuff, getting ready for year-end list season. And like I said, I'm writing the script and I have to shoot it and edit it. So, yeah. This might be the last formal review of 2021. So I just want to say thank you to all who subbed and kept stopping by. You're all the best. And I'll see you all next time.